This is Joaquin Phoenix's first Oscar and fourth nomination. I just want to say that when he was 17, my brother wrote the line, "Run to the rescue with love and peace will follow." Thank you. Welcome back to the stars. Joaquin Phoenix's name not only evokes one of Hollywood's most gifted actors, but also stands as a symbol of resilience and triumph over adversity in every role. He doesn't just portray a character. He pours his soul and the weight of his painful experiences into making unforgettable film moments. But behind the scenes is a life filled with hardships and tragedies that even the most moving screenplays could never depict. Joaquin Phoenix has endured poverty, the death of loved ones, and unending internal conflicts. But it is precisely these struggles that have molded the man he is today, a true artist who lives not only for his craft, but also for profound messages about humanity and compassion. But do these sorrows fuel the extraordinary depth of the story of Joaquin Phoenix is not just about his ascent from poverty to fame, but also about his journey of grappling with inner conflicts that define who he is today. Is this his liberation, or simply his way of coexisting with the darkness forever? Join us as we delve into the life of this extraordinary man. It is a tale of tragedy, sorrow, and unmatched brilliance. If the spotlight of today represents Joaquin Phoenix's early life, then his performances, or is it his brilliance, that hides a man constantly battling his own demons? From the moment of his birth, Joaquin entered an unstable world where the optimism of the hippie movement clashed with the harsh realities of life. His parents, John Lee Bottom and Aaron Bottom, were not only seekers of freedom, but also dreamers who bet their family's future on a religious cult known as the Children of God. But those dreams quickly turned into a nightmare at first. The cult offered peace, community, and a purpose that matched the countercultural ideals of the time. However, beneath the spiritual facade was a system that exploited women as tools to grow the congregation through a practice known as flirty fishing, in which they used their bodies to entice men to join. When Joaquin's parents discovered this reality, they felt betrayed and afraid for their children's future. With no money and nowhere to turn, they made the life-altering decision to flee. The Bottom family boarded a cargo ship with no documents, no belongings, and no certainty other than the desire to return to the United States. Joaquin, who was only 3 years old at the time, couldn't understand why his family was crammed onto the crowded deck of a ship. But one memory stayed with him. The ship's crew gave him a small cake for his first birthday, which was a rare light in those days. The Phoenix family's escape was nothing short of a horror movie. The family had little more than their name to symbolize a new beginning when they arrived in the U.S. They chose the surname Phoenix after the mythical bird that rises from its ashes. But the name change could not erase their bitter reality. The Phoenix family was so poor that they lived crammed into a tiny rented room where rats were their constant companions. However, those dark days quickly dimmed when Joaquin witnessed the slaughter of fish on the ship, a moment that sparked his lifelong decision to become a vegan. Joaquin's parents encouraged their children to perform on the streets singing and dancing to earn money. But beneath the laughter and melodies was a harsher truth. This was their only way to avoid going to bed hungry. John Lee Joaquin's father sank into alcoholism, and Arlen took on the enormous burden of raising 5 children in the midst of poverty. Joaquin was still just a boy, soon learning that the world wasn't kind to them. However, in the midst of the hardships, Joaquin's talent began to emerge not from joy, but from pain and loneliness. Performing wasn't just a way for him to survive, it was his way of escaping an uncertain reality. Those years forged a soul full of contradictions, weak under the weight of his own inner darkness, but resilient in the face of adversity. Were those turbulent early years enough to mold a resilient Joaquin Phoenix? Or were they simply the prelude to a lifetime of lasting tragedy? The answer can be found in the following chapters of his life, a journey that is both brilliant and haunting, where light and shadow coexist. Phoenix didn't enter the acting industry as a star by chance. Instead, he started out with small roles that many people might overlook. But for him, they were chances to demonstrate that talent can overcome any obstacle. In 1982, at the age of 8, he made his first appearance on screen in an episode of the television series 7. In order to fit in with his siblings, whose names were derived from Nature, River, Rain, Liberty, and Summer, Wayne adopted the stage name Leaf Phoenix around this time. However, life as a child actor was very different from the glamorous image that audiences saw, and the Phoenix family had to rely heavily on their mother's efforts to find opportunities through connections she made while working at a television studio. Nevertheless, every time Wayne stepped onto a set, he carried more than just the excitement. Wayne's talent started to garner attention when he appeared in television shows like Backwards, The Riddle of Dyslexia 1984 with his brother River. Their partnership not only enthralled viewers, but also established the Phoenix family as a cradle of rare talent. However, as River started to shine as a child star with his breakthrough role in Stand By Me 1986, Wayne found himself at a challenging time. Every role was an opportunity to help his family escape poverty. Hen's response to the question of how he could escape the massive shadow of his brother, who was praised by the media as the symbol of a generation, was resolute. He refused to be a copy of River and only took on roles that genuinely tested his acting skills. However, this resoluteness also made Wayne's career advance more slowly than his brother's. His early roles in Space Camp 1986 and Parenthood 1989 didn't have a big impact, but they were stepping stones that helped Wayne shape his career. His own acting style. But in the midst of his quest to discover who he was, he encountered an inevitable tragedy: the death of his brother and closest artistic friend, River Phoenix, in 1993. Wayne's budding career appeared to collapse along with him, and he withdrew from the spotlight and vanished from public view for 2 years. During this time, Wayne struggled not only with the pain of losing his brother, but also with unanswered questions. Was acting really the path he wanted to follow? Or was it just a legacy his family expected him to pursue? To continue, but Wayne Phoenix is not one to give up easily. 2 years later, he made his comeback in Gus Van Sant's film To Die in 1995. This role marked not only his return, but also a declaration that Wayne was more than just River Phoenix's younger brother. With his distinct acting style, Wayne created a unique identity, giving each character rare emotional depth. It was at this time that the world started to realize that Wayne was not just a talent, but a true artist, willing to take on any challenge in pursuit of his own light. Phoenix's early career is not a tale of sudden, spectacular success. Rather, it is the tale of a young man battling the darkness of loss, the pressure of expectations, and the haunting shadow of a family legacy. Nevertheless, it was these slow, deliberate steps that set the stage for his later greatness, where Wayne would captivate audiences not only with his talent, but also with the authenticity and depth he brought to every role. Joaquin Phoenix rose from small, humble roles with each deliberate step. If his early years were characterized by conflicting beginnings, his later career became a journey of breakthrough, a testament to dedication and rare talent in the arts. However, this path was anything but smooth, marked by enormous challenges that forced him to confront himself, push beyond boundaries, and redefine not only who he was as an actor, but also as a true artist. The pivotal moment that propelled Wayne from an obscure name to the center of the cinematic world was his role as Comus in Gladiator 2000 in this epic. In contrast to other villains, Wayne introduced a deeply layered complexity to Comus by transforming him into a merciless, power-hungry Roman emperor who was both ambitious and painfully weak and insecure. This performance earned him his first Oscar nomination and established him as a highly nuanced actor who could delve into a character's psychological core with haunting precision. Gladiator was not only a career milestone, but also a springboard for Wayne to expand his artistic horizons. Wayne's portrayal of Johnny Cash in Walk the Line 2005, which wasn't just a biographical movie about a music legend, but an emotional journey, was another example of his versatility and emotional depth after Gladiator. He learned to play the guitar, performed all the songs himself, and embodied Johnny Cash in all of his nuances, from his talent and pride to his vulnerability and battles with addiction. What made this role particularly profound was how he tapped into the character's deepest emotions. The role earned him a Golden Globe, but it came at a high cost after the film. Wayne had to face his own struggles with alcoholism, which took a toll from his intense immersion into the character. Despite the success of Walk the Line, Wayne never stopped pushing boundaries in 2012, shocking audiences with his intense grief over the loss of Johnny Cash's brother, especially the haunting grief over the loss of his brother, River, paralleling Joaquin's own pain from losing his brother. Freddie Quall, a troubled and alcoholic war veteran, was a character full of contradictions that were both pitiful and terrifying. Wayne didn't just act, he lived every moment of the character, drawing audiences into Freddie's tormented soul and making them both repulsed and sympathetic. This flawless performance earned Wayne his third Oscar nomination. In addition to being an intellectually rich cinematic work, Freddie Quill in The Master was also a platform for Wayne to demonstrate his extraordinary acting prowess, and cemented his position as one of the best actors of his generation. He did not limit his career to roles with deep psychological depth. In 2013, he took on a whole new challenge with Her. In this movie, he played Theodore Twombly, a lonely man who finds love through an artificial intelligence system. Wayne didn't need dramatic scenes or long monologues. Instead, he used his voice and subtle body language to create a character that was incredibly relatable, capturing the unadulterated loneliness and desire for love. The pinnacle of Joaquin Phoenix's career was his portrayal of the Joker in the 2019 film of the same name. This was not only a monumental challenge, but also a career-defining moment. To prepare for the role, Wayne lost over 50 pounds, thoroughly researched the psychology of people with mental illness, and completely immersed himself in the life of Arthur Fleck, a man abandoned by society. Heartbreaking authenticity. She was more than an unusual love story. It was a delicate portrait of human isolation in the modern world, with Juan as its beating heart. Phoenix's career is based not only on outstanding performances, but also on an unwavering spirit of self-challenge. He doesn't act for fame or awards, but to transform from a frail outcast into a symbol of chaos. He didn't just play the Joker, he created a profoundly human version of the character, where every instance of madness was rooted in suppressed pain. The role earned him his first Academy Award, but more significantly, it cemented him as one of the rare actors capable of redefining an iconic character. Joaquin is not just an actor. He is a true artist who uses his craft to heal his wounds and connect with the world. If his career's brilliance is what the public sees, the darkness of personal tragedies and inner struggles is a part of Joaquin Phoenix that he rarely shares. Each of Joaquin's roles is a journey, not only for him, but also for his audience, inviting them to confront pain, conflicts, and hope, reveals. But it is precisely these hardships that have shaped a man of extraordinary depth, where talent and suffering intertwine, leaving audiences not only in awe, but deeply haunted. The first tragedy, which is still unhealed, was the death of River Phoenix, the brother Wen admired and considered an inseparable part of his life. On Halloween night in 1993, River, then one of Hollywood's brightest stars, collapsed outside the Viper Room while Wen and his sister Rain were present. Wen's eerie 911 call filled. His death left Wayne adrift in both his career and personal life, as he withdrew from acting for 2 years, engulfed in a silence and grief that no one could penetrate. This loss was more than just a psychological wound. It was the start of years of inner turmoil that Wayne carried with him. With desperation and panic, it became a media spectacle for years to come, but behind the headlines lay a shock that Wayne has never fully overcome. River was not just a brother, but also a guide and companion on Wen's artistic journey. Wen's life became a series of ongoing struggles, forcing him to confront shadows far larger than himself. During the filming of Walk the Line, his portrayal of Johnny Cash, a man who also lost a brother in a tragic event. This sense of guilt became an inseparable part of Wen's performances, where he frequently embodied characters who were wounded and lost between reality and expectation. After the film, Wayne found himself turning to alcohol to deal with the pressure and emptiness he felt. He voluntarily checked himself into rehab, not only to get rid of the alcohol, but also to find inner peace. A near-fatal car accident in 2006 marked another turning point in Hen's life, when his car flipped over on Sunset Strip, leaving him in a life-threatening situation. Tragic accident forced Wayne to relive his own grief. This profound empathy led to an extraordinary performance, but also pushed him into a personal crisis. Joaquin was only a few seconds away from lighting a cigarette when director Werner Herzog intervened to save his life and forced him to face the frailty of his existence. He didn't see the incident as a stroke of luck, but rather as a sobering reminder that he couldn't continue to avoid life's realities. The loss of friends also became an inseparable part of Wen's journey, and his close relationship with Heath Ledger, a kindred spirit who shared his artistic values, left a lasting void. Following Ledger's untimely death in 2008, when Wen won the Oscar for Joker in 2019, he paid tribute to Ledger, calling him one of the greatest actors he had ever known. The subsequent deaths of friends and family not only left Wen in deep grief, but also intensified the sense of loneliness and loss that seemed to surround him all the time. Joaquin Phoenix's life has not been a string of unending victories behind the spotlight. He has acknowledged that he is a perfectionist, the point of self-destruction, because he frequently feels dissatisfied with his achievements. But these same contradictions are what motivate Joaquin to pursue roles that either calm or at least assist him in facing the darkness within the tragedies and inner struggles that have defined Joaquin Phoenix not only as a superb actor, but also as a symbol of human complexity and beauty. His story is one of a man who is always standing on the edge between light and darkness, where pain never truly fades, but becomes the wellspring of all creative inspiration. It is this contrast that has made Joaquin Phoenix an irreplaceable phenomenon in the history of film. Despite being hailed as one of the most famous stars in the world, Joaquin Phoenix has chosen a different path that keeps his personal life apart from the limelight. He rarely gives the public a glimpse into his private life, but within this guarded existence lies a deeply emotional and introspective person who is always looking for connection through love and family. Wayne has always maintained a close bond with the Phoenix. His mother, Aaron Phoenix, whom he lovingly refers to as Har, not only reared him, but also served as the greatest source of inspiration in his life. She led the family out of the Children of God cult, and despite Wen's difficult upbringing, her love was the guiding light during his darkest moments. However, his relationship with his father, John Lee, was very different from his relationship with his sister, Liberty and Summer, after River's death. Wen has not been one to readily open his heart. He had a 3-year relationship with actress Liv Tyler in the late 1990s, which was peaceful and genuine, but the two eventually parted ways amicably with mutual respect. After Liv Tyler had a few short relationships, but none that were particularly serious. Wen withdrew from public life early on and died of cancer in 2015. Acknowledged that he had always found it difficult to love and trust people because of past traumas that made him wary of allowing others into his life. However, a turning point in Wen's personal life occurred when he met Rooney Mara, a gifted actress and his soulmate. The two met on the set of Her 2013, but at first they were just friends. Wen later admitted that he initially believed Rooney didn't like him because of her quiet and reserved manner, but their relationship grew over time. Wen and Rooney Mara became engaged in 2019 and welcomed their first son, River Phoenix, in 2020. Naming their child after Wen's late brother was not only a way to honor River's memory, but also a testament to the love Wen holds for his family. Wen has stated that becoming a father has changed his outlook on life. Their shared empathy and connection through art blossomed into a quiet but steadfast love shielded from media scrutiny. His small family with Rooney and their son is a haven of peace for him after years of inner turmoil. Beyond love and family, Wayne is known for his simplicity and compassion. He has been a vegan since childhood, a decision that stems from memories of seeing animals slaughtered. He is an outspoken advocate who has tirelessly fought for animal rights and environmental issues. His heartfelt speech at the 2020 Academy Awards was not just about his family. Despite these significant aspects of his life, Wen's personal world is not without loneliness. He has acknowledged that fame and public expectations frequently cause him to feel cut off from the world around him. Wen is a man who lives in two extremes, one of deep connection with his family and love, and another of isolation that constantly haunts him. Nevertheless, he attempts to reconcile these. Phoenix's life, like his roles, is a journey full of contradictions and emotions that transform his personal experiences into inspiration for his art. Behind his reserved demeanor and quiet nature lies a man of profound sensitivity who cherishes the relationships that matter most, from his love for family and his bond with Rooney Mara to his role as a father. He has demonstrated that even when shrouded in darkness, he can find light in the most meaningful and intimate connections. Present, life, and legacy. In 2024, Joaquin Phoenix will continue his difficult artistic journey with major projects. He will reunite with audiences in Joker FY2, the sequel to the 2019 masterpiece Joker, which earned him his first Academy Award. After decades of immersing himself in haunting roles and battling personal tragedies, Phoenix has found a new balance in his life, where family, art, and compassion blend seamlessly to create a more fulfilled Joaquin Phoenix than ever before. Wen's portrayal of Arthur Fleck in the sequel is not just a continuation, but a deeper exploration of the human psyche, further showcasing his timeless talent beyond Joker. Additionally, Wen is working on ambitious projects with renowned directors like Lynn Ramsey and A.R. Aster, which promise to delve into the complexities of the human soul territory where Wen has always his legacy goes far beyond prestigious awards and iconic roles. It lies in how he has redefined what it means to pursue true artistry. Wen and his wife, actress Rooney Mara, have always kept a low profile, focusing their time on raising their two young children, especially their eldest son, River Phoenix, whose name is filled with profound meaning honoring Wen's late brother. Phoenix's legacy extends far beyond prestigious awards and iconic roles. Seeks out complex roles, profound stories, and characters that require both physical and emotional sacrifices. For this reason, every role Wayne takes on bears his distinctive mark, which is irreplaceable and impossible to duplicate. Above all, Joaquin Phoenix's greatest legacy may be found in the way he lives a life full of contradictions while never ceasing to seek harmony from the pain of loss to enduring inner battles. He has used his art as a means of inspiration and healing, and he is a living example of the power of rising from the dark, symbol of tenacity and sincerity. And although his performances will live on in audiences' memories forever, it is Wayne himself, with all of his imperfections and deep compassion, who makes him a true legend. His life is not only a tale of glory and tragedy, but also a lesson in overcoming hardship, accepting one's shadows, and turning them into an enduring source of light. What are your thoughts on Joaquin Phoenix's remarkable journey? What do you find most impressive about him? His talent, resilience, or ability to transform suffering into art? In overcoming adversity? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any more motivational tales. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.